Hello everyone, welcome to Dr. Rajkumar Academy. Welcome to the session on 18/11/2022. So let's quickly get into the most important articles of the day. Yeah. Hindu suit in Gyanvapi case maintainable. See guys, in Varanasi there is a masjid where closer to the masjid there is actually what we call as some idols of Hindus. And Hindu people say that we want to do worship in this particular part and we don't want Muslims or someone to come to this region. Whereas Muslims, on the other hand, are saying this is masjid premises and Hindus can't come and do their festivals or puja or something in this area. So the fear is again this may be a new issue of Hindu Muslim fight, after Babri Masjid. And everyone is thinking we should stop this case as soon as possible. But unfortunately, it is not being stopped and it is prolongated. Supreme Court agrees to list plea for collegium system review. See guys, whenever there is an issue and if the issue has to go to the court and the court if it has to verify whether it is right or not, it has to first list it, that is okay, these are all the issues that I'm going to take care. So now what has happened, let me explain you the story and the history of this. See guys, in 1993 the Supreme Court, consisting of almost 9 judges, they sat and they told that we will establish a collegium system. Collegium system includes some judges. They all will sit together and decide who must be made high court judge, who must be made Supreme Court judge. These all will be decided by the collegium. Now this collegium will send the information to the prime minister or the government, and the government has to select from within them, and mostly they select whatever they send, because if you say no and all then it will be an issue. So normally whatever the collegium says the government has to agree. Now this was in discussion for long, and in 2014 what happened, everyone sat and discussed in the parliament that how can judges appoint judges. For example, now we are all talking about CJI, whose Chandrachud, whose father was also a CJI. Now, the father may influence other judges and tell that, his son must be made judge somewhere else. So, nepotism possibility is there when there is such sort of, system. Now, that must be removed, and they planned for National Judicial Appointment Commission, we call NJAC, in 2014. So it will remove the collegium and the NJAC will include some judges and some government people also. Both will sit and discuss and decide on who must be the judges. And this was not liked by the judges. So the judges told or established 5 judge bench and told that this is against the basic structure of the constitution, because executive is trying to interfere and tell who should be the judges in future. So this needs to be removed. So in 2015 the judgment said that we will remove NJAC and we will continue with the collegium system. But now again the debate is there, and recently the government asked the Supreme Court judge that is this fair enough, because you are selecting your own friends, is that correct? For that Supreme Court told that See, we are following enough checks and balances. So we are ensuring that there is no nepotism and favoritism. But the point is, today they are there. But what is the guarantee that in future someone will follow this properly or not? So fortunately, the Supreme Court has told that we will see whether we need to continue with this system or not. So let's wait for that. But there's the debate between NJAC and collegium system will be discussed in your polity classes as well. But here I'm just trying to discuss about this specific issue. Center seeks review of Supreme Court order freeing Rajiv case convicts. Yes. Recently, the Supreme Court told release them. Now you see, these were not from India. They were from Sri Lanka. That means they are foreign nationals. Fundamental rights for Indians are different from fundamental rights to outsiders. Correct? So when we look at that, this is a clear cut case that, like, leaving foreigners similar to Indians is not correct. Second important thing, they were terrorists. Now, they were not arrested without evidence, and the court at that time gave a proper judgment that they must be put behind bars for life imprisonment. Unfortunately, the court intervened and court is giving them, like, you can go. So this gives a very bad signal that, like, you come, you do terror activities in our country, kill even our prime minister, and you escape, no one will question you. So that would send a wrong message. So center is asking Supreme Court, please listen to us, give us some opportunity to explain so that we can arrest them back, is what they are trying to tell. So this next important issue, let's go to editorial. Today the editorial news is very, very less. Yes. Opaque political financing could cost democracy dear. See, because this is some analysis of electoral bonds and all, and it is not at all important for you. Leave it. Trade tumult. See, guys, we all read yesterday that exports have reduced but imports have increased. The trade deficit has increased exponentially, where it is almost more than $25 billion, and it is a serious issue for all of us. And this needs to be rectified, and we need to focus on increasing the production and increasing the exports as well. This is the opinion of trade tumultuous, nothing much. Come back bit. Trump is trying to come back. He is feeling that Republicans will elect him. So that is not correct, is what they are trying to tell. Weighing in on Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana. Because this article tries to criticize the government. Are you trying to give food grains to the poor people just because of Gujarat and Himachal Pradesh elections? So this is about that. You see, guys, anything associated with politics and they're trying to discuss about the political aspects, don't waste your time in such things. Yeah. Government to hold offsite on Andaman as it prepares for G20 presidency. See, guys, in G20, every country will be represented by a person who will be the point of contact. For example, like, let us say Australia wants to talk to us. So, with respect to G20, so India will have a person by name Sherpa. Like, the title given is Sherpa, right? Or it will be Soyesh Sherpa. And what they will do, they will be the in charge. So they will call all other Sherpas to come. Like, India is planning to meet at Havelock. So you people all come. And they will be the point of contact for how the G20 summit is going to be held. Now, as India is going to be the head of G20 summit, India is planning to call all the members to Andaman and Nicobar. In Andaman, closer to Port Blair, there is an island called as Havelock, and that Havelock is a very beautiful scenery. And there, they are planning to have a session with all the residents, guys. That means everyone they have to go there, and in a hotel there they are planning to meet and discuss. So what is that they are planning to discuss is not given in detail. They just want to know how exactly next 1 year India is going to do. But the place, see, Sherpa is important. South Sherpa is important, right? And most importantly, what is important is we need to discuss about Havelock. Where is it present? It is present in Andaman and Nicobar. Yesterday I was telling you that India is planning for no money for terror financing conference. In that, India was telling lot of money go to terrorists through social media, and India is trying to show that we have evidences to prove that lot of things are going through social media. Nothing much, guys. Don't waste your time. Moscow format calls for minority rights, political reconciliation in Afghanistan. Because with respect to Afghanistan, all the people have met in Moscow and they have declared that third country should not send army to Afghanistan, and it is Afghanistan which has to decide on it. But the Taliban people, whoever is ruling it, should try to first protect the minority interests and women interests in the region, ensuring that women and others are given some sort of freedom. So this is what they have told, and Taliban, even though it didn't participate, it has told it is a good move. So this may be important, guys. Write down. You write heading as Afghanistan, international relations, Afghanistan, hyphen, Moscow format, Moscow format recently met, recently met to discuss about, to discuss about Afghanistan. Full stop. Taliban did not participate, but Taliban has told that it welcomes Moscow format because Moscow format is not interfering in Afghan's democracy. Moreover, they're also trying to support, they're also trying to support minority rights and fundamental rights of ethnic groups, women and children. Yeah. So yes, after that it is completely about uh, Gujarat elections, not required. Rhino haunts trafficked with impunity report. You see, guys, yesterday we read about drugs and all. Today we are reading about rhinos. You can see so much of crime is happening in Northeast. especially by the people from Vietnam and Chinese. They are involved in this. Fine. And guys, is there any international organization to prevent smuggling of rhinos and all? Yes, one organization is called as CITES, Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora. And also, there is something called as Worldwide Fund for Nature and Wildlife Justice Commission. Is all these are dealt in your environment and ecology classes. Rhino is also a very simple one, but I just want you to know that smuggling and other activities are increasing in that part. Even though it is reducing, the news of this is significantly more. So in environment and ecology, they may ask you about rhino, and from organizations point of view, cites worldwide fund for nature, wildlife justice commission. These are important. Yes. Next, EC may be honest but have definite political leaning. See, there was a chief election commissioner by name TN Seshan. Now, when he came to power, he understood that political parties try to put pressure on the working of the election commissions. So what he did, he made certain rules and regulations in such a way that if election commission follows those rules and regulations, they will not be biased towards any particular political party. So in every situation, what is the correct answer is what they use it to discuss and argue. Fine. So here, this is ethics based question. Now you see, I'll tell you, in ethics, they expect two things. One, see, there is a problem in an institution, and if I am there in the institution, the problems will be resolved. But I will make rules and regulations in such a way that even if I am not there, the institution will keep on working the same way. Now that is smartness. And UPSC wants such aspirants, not the one who try to bring short term changes, but the one who can bring long term changes. And one such example is TN Session. And what TN Session did, he brought electoral reforms in such a way that it is very, very difficult for anyone to question the functioning of the election commission. Yeah. So there is nothing much in the world news, but yeah, guys, there is something called as National Investment and Infrastructure Fund, guys. Now, this fund initially started with 4,200 crores. Now it is almost 26,000 crores, and it gives loans with respect to infrastructure project. It is also going to tie up with Japan and trying to bring investments. And Nirmala Sitharaman is asking that use these funds and also private funds to invest in national infrastructure pipeline, PM Gati Shakti, and national infrastructure corridor. When we try to do all these things, it would be easier for infrastructure development to take place. This is what it is trying to argue. Fine. So these are some of the important issues that we had to discuss. Thank you.